So many weird things have been happening lately. Where's my tabs? One thing I found crazy is, did you guys see that woman who literally gave birth on stream? Like, just straight up, like, popped a child out of herself on stream? Okay, I'd never even heard of her before. So her name is Fandy. Is anyone, like, familiar with her? This might be, like, not my generation of streamers. This is what she looks like. I was watching last night. Oh my God. How was it? Okay, yeah. So this woman literally gave birth in front of 100,000 people on stream yesterday. It was like the most insane thing I've ever seen. She's part of the Austin streamers. She's been streaming forever. Okay, like, why did Cheer? There's like, I think you can show it because you don't see, here, let me pull it. Because you don't see her like giving birth, if that makes sense. Like, it's in the background. It's just happening. Like, she's just there giving birth. And I'm just like, why? That whole thing was weird. Yeah, I think the idea of doing this on stream is just such an odd thing. I feel like these are like the times in which I'm just like, we don't need the internet anymore. Like, we don't deserve to have the internet anymore. Like, I get it's not like no one, I guess, was technically hurt in the process, but it just doesn't feel right. It was hours and hours of her in labor pain. Yeah, she was in pain for like 8 hours. Does it smell? Ew. Well, it's not about if it smells. It probably does. It's childbirth. It's about the ethics of this. I don't think that's fair to the kid. I feel like it's exploitive to the child. It also just feels like wildly dystopian to stream anything like that, honestly. Can't smell it. Exactly. You can't fucking smell it through the stream anyways, bro. Why do you care? Don't be at your wife's birth being like, oh my God, it smells. She'll punch you. She's not the first person to do it. I thought she was technically the first person. I don't understand why it's unethical. One, I think it's weird. And two, I think it's exploitive to the child. Like, say if the child grows up, I don't know. I feel like in some way they could come back on it. And then also, I didn't know this until D-Day just said in chat, but she's an OF creator. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but she is, I'm sure, heavily sexualized. And it almost feels like, I don't know, am I reaching to say it feels almost like she's like, it's kind of like fetish content in a way, you know? I don't watch her, but apparently she had a kid at 16 that lives with grandparents. So this is her second child. That's just like kind of crazy. It's just like, yeah. It's like, you know, like, okay, this is unrelated, but it's like, you know, when you see two people get married and they're like cousins or some shit and they're both like grown consenting adults. So you're like, I guess they're not hurting anyone. But it just don't feel right, man. Though I think this could be hurting the kid. The French streamer that died on Kick, yeah, we also talked about it. I mean, that one was just apparent, super wrong. All content can be fetish content, sure, but that's not really like what I'm saying. It's like, because she is an OF creator, she creates sexual content and she profits off that, which is like, that's her prerogative, that's fine. It's like her streaming her birth feels like inherently more like she is trying to play into that sexual fetish content of like birth, the baby, all that, which is not okay. Like, say that like someone was live streaming a birth to a group of med students who are training to be an OBGYNs, right? Like, technically the same thing is happening. Births are being live streamed, but the context is so entirely different. Like, you wouldn't call that one to the group of future OBGYN med students. You wouldn't say that one seems like it could be fetish pandering. But this, I feel like, could be fetish pandering. If not, it at least is just like extreme hunger for clout. Is people think YouTube videos and posted publicly is same vibe? No, because like I said, it also depends on your audience. Like, if your audience is gooners, then it depends on vibe. Like, if you're like a lifestyle, like for example, a lot of the lifestyle content girlies who have like 99% female audiences and most of their content is about like their boyfriend and going shopping, post like a birthing vlog, I wouldn't say that's the same, you know, because they're not trying to pander. Though I would say a lot of those girls now don't even do that because there's so much fetish shit out now. And like, so many people are fetishizing people for no reason. It's going to benefit the kid. She's going to be able to say she's the first kid born on Twitch. Bro, that's going to get you bullied, dude. No one's going to be like, hell yeah. Anyways, though, Dan Clancy even sent a message in chat. And he was like, Fandy, congrats on the baby. Wishing the best for you in your journey, something like that. So we even had Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, watching this, which is also just insane. But I mean, I guess he's the CEO of Twitch, so it makes sense he knows about all the crazy shit. He's kind of a freak, but he's friends with those Austin streamers. I watched him on this TwitchCon panel last year where they pretty much brought up 4 random objects and they brought up 4 people, one of whom was Dan Clancy, another whom was Cinna's dad, and then 2 other people. And you had to the audience had to figure out what object belonged to which person. And Dan Clancy brought like an 1800s authentic wooden dildo. So, yeah. And the way that when I was watching that shit, I was like, I already know. Like, I know who got that. And they didn't even like say it was an 1800s authentic one, but you could tell it was so phallic-esque, so like butt plug-esque. I was like, I know what that is. Nobody gets bullied these days. We groom these kids to be Karens. Bro, people still definitely get bullied, 100%. It's also just sad too, because it shows that like I think like nothing is sacred. Like that should be like such like a emotionally like intimate and like beautiful moment between like you, your baby, your partner if you're lucky. But instead it's just on like the hellhole that is the internet, like that is Twitch. People are like Pepega or some shit in chat, and I'm like, bruh. Who's the dad? Is she married? Are you guys hip to any of that stuff? Let me see. So the baby's name is Luna with her husband, Adamax. Didn't the kid would get bullied more for having a hot OF mom than being born on Twitch? I mean, they'll all just get lumped in together, bro. I'm only hip because I heard about yesterday. Be if she does OF with, I see. They're League streamers? They were a threesome until Fandy got pregnant. As in, were they a threesome as in like a literal like throuple, or were they just like 3 people who made content together? This is what her and her husband look like. Oh, well, the baby looks healthy. It looks like a newborn baby. Newborn babies are so red. They are so red. Why? Gosh. I mean, it makes sense that they're red, but I don't know. I never get over it. Just homeschool them. Yeah, what a surefire way to make sure your kid's an absolute fucking weirdo by homeschooling them. I honestly feel like unless your kid has like a really debilitative issue in which they need to be homeschooled, you shouldn't. Actually, one of my good friends here in New York, he's homeschooled, and I always thought he was like a little weird when I met him. Not that I mind, because I like weird people, but then when he told me he was homeschooled, it all made sense. And I was like, so as someone who's homeschooled, would you ever homeschool your kid? He's like, no, it's the worst thing ever. It's borderline abusive. I literally have the way I had to work so hard to gain social skills, even now to this day as an adult, I struggle to make friends. I struggle to hold on to social relationships. It's hindered me so much in my life. And I'm just like, well, why did your parents homeschool you? He's like, oh, they just felt like it. And I'm like, bruh. First time I say to her, she was paid $120K for a Porsche for her husband. Oh, that's a nice gift. I actually like Porsche. I think like, I'm not like a car girly by any means, but I like how they're very like sleek and slim and zippy looking. They didn't take them to the park. They did, but you know, taking a kid to the park for a few hours a week is not the same level of socialization as actually making them interact with their peers. Like a lot of people don't realize that social skills are one of the most important skills you will ever need in your life. A lot of times being able to socialize, being able to make connections with people is more important than even like classical intelligence, because it's how you get places, right? You know, that whole corny saying, but it is true. It's like not about what you know, it's about who you know. Like that's very common. Listening is a good one too. Well, knowing when to listen and when to speak is a part of social skills. You look good in a Porsche. They also loaned Ms. Kiff $100K all the time. Why did Ms. Kiff need $100K? I was homeschooled, but I also attended international private school. So you weren't fully homeschooled, because private school is not homeschooling at all. Can I ask you a question regarding race? Sure. Hit me. Here we go every time, man. God, now I'm getting afraid. Was that a restaurant the other day? I was called a black guy as white girl was leaving the restaurant and I'm not black. What does that even mean? I don't know. That makes no sense. I don't know why you would think I would have the answer to that, bro. I thought this was going to be about my race like it usually is.